Well, buen Camino there, pilgrims. I am Jeremiah Gibbs, and I'm your Camino guide. And today I have some book recommendations for you. I've got 4 books that I think are really excellent for spiritual preparation for Camino de Santiago. I got a couple of academic, kind of my nerdy book options that I'll tell you about at the end, so stick around for those. I hope you'll find some of these really helpful as you prepare for Camino de Santiago as well. Now, probably my favorite sort of overall Camino de Santiago book is going to be Walk in a Relaxed Manner by Joyce Roop. Now, Joyce Roop is a Catholic sister. There's certainly a lot of religious language throughout the book. I think for those who are not religious, it's still going to be great preparation. But you'll notice the subtitle there, Life Lessons from the Camino. And Joyce is really sort of looking back and telling some stories and some memories from the Camino, not in a kind of memoir mode, but really just looking back and telling the stories of Camino and looking towards some of those life lessons and really drawing those out for you to be able to get connected as well. And so I think Joyce Roop's book is probably my favorite book for those who are preparing spiritually for Camino. And I think those who have already walked Camino can resonate with some of the lessons that she draws upon. Now, my favorite sort of memoir of Camino is going to be Kevin Codd, To the Field of Stars. Now, Kevin Codd is a Catholic priest and really infuses his spirituality throughout the memoir. And I think he tells it in a way that it isn't overly religious. I don't think the book has this kind of overly religious tone to it, but certainly Kevin Codd is exuding his own Catholic spirituality as he's embracing the Catholic spirituality of the Camino de Santiago. And I think Kevin Codd's book is an excellent read. And if you only are going to read one book about the Camino, I think Kevin Codd's is probably a great place to start. Now, probably my favorite book from an evangelical perspective, for those of you that may be Protestant or evangelical Christians, and that's many people from America who walk the pilgrimage today are from these evangelical traditions. The Way is Made by Walking by, I think that's said Arthur Boers, maybe. Arthur is a professor of pastoral theology at an evangelical seminary, Tyndale Seminary. And so Arthur Boers' book is really, I think, that it's kind of in a memoir mode, but it certainly is geared towards spiritual growth, spiritual maturity, lessons learned. He has that mind, I think, in a way that Kevin Codd's book really doesn't. Kevin Codd's book is much more just sort of memoir and certainly tells his own spiritual journey, but isn't sort of teaching, where I think Arthur Boers has some of that memoir mode, but certainly is also in a teaching mode as you read that book. So great book for evangelicals, The Way is Made by Walking by Arthur Boers. Now, the 4th book I want to recommend is probably my favorite book by a secular author. That is somebody who's not particularly a religious leader or something like that. Hape Kerkeling, I believe that's how you say that. The book is I'm Off Then. This book is a bestseller in Germany, and Hape Kerkeling is professionally a comedian, so the book is very funny, it's very engaging, and although Hape himself is sort of, I would say, a nominal Catholic, he definitely talks about his spiritual journey in a really, I think, winsome and authentic way throughout the book. It's very well written, incredibly well written, probably the most entertaining of any of the books. He tells great stories about some of the persons that he comes along the way, and certainly I think Hape Kerkeling is the best, what I would consider sort of a secular telling of a Camino de Santiago narrative. Now, before I get to the 2 nerdy books that I want to be able to share with you today, I just want to encourage you, you all have your favorite books if you've been studying and learning about Camino. So if you would put those down in the comments, tell others about what books you have really connected with and have been helpful to you. I would give you a word of advice. Don't put any links in your comment, because YouTube just deletes those comments. I would love for you to be able to post links there, but for some reason the only person that can post a link on a YouTube video is the creator. So not sure why you can't post those links, but if you do, it's going to delete your comments. So go ahead, tell us about the author and the title of your favorite book, and love to be able to have a collection of some of the best ones down in the comments. And with that in mind also, if you are considering a pilgrimage on Camino de Santiago, I hope that you'll subscribe to this channel. We're going to have lots of sort of spiritual and theological helps for Camino, lots and lots of logistical and planning helps for Camino as well, and then certainly going to be able to help you with gear and things like that as you prepare for Camino as well. So subscribe to this channel, click the like button. That will tell YouTube to send it out to other people who are looking for Camino content too. That's really helpful for me in this channel. Let's get to those academic books. Now, the first one I want to recommend from a Christian theological perspective is this book called Explorations in a Christian Theology of Pilgrimage. This book is not specifically about Camino de Santiago. Certainly they mention Camino de Santiago many times in the book, but this book is an overall theology of Christian pilgrimage. It is a highly academic book. It's very nerdy for kind of theologian types, but it is a compilation of many different authors, many different theologians, and highly recommend it as a kind of way to get really a deep dive into Christian theology of pilgrimage, including some very direct comments and commentary on Camino de Santiago as well. And then the last sort of nerdy Camino book that I want to recommend is this book called Pilgrim Stories, On and Off the Road to Santiago by Nancy Louise Frey. This book is written by an anthropologist and is really a sort of a telling of the stories and the lives and the motivations and the experiences of lots of different pilgrims, and really is talking about the pilgrimage as a kind of culture in itself, an anthropological sort of investigation. So if you don't love anthropology, it might be a bit slow and kind of dull, but if you really want to get into the kind of the depth of people's stories and motivations and so on, this Pilgrim Stories by Nancy Louise Frey is an excellent option. If you're looking for any of these books, I'm going to put links to all of those books, Amazon affiliate links in the description. I certainly welcome you to use those affiliate links. That'll allow me to get a small portion of that cost back and cost you nothing to be able to do that. It's a great way to support the channel, is to use those affiliate links, which don't cost you anything at all. So thanks a lot for any support that you're able to offer. I hope that you found some of those books helpful. Go read those. Put in the comments ones that you're reading. Come back often. I hope to be able to help you make your way to Camino de Santiago as well. Buen Camino, pilgrims.